In this lesson, we're going to work on the wheel. And so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to bring two views. I want to go to the front view, and I'm going to go ahead and go to the right view so I can pull these together. Now, what that means is, to start with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do this wheel. Now, the wheel, when you draw with the EP curve tool, and you draw in the front view, you're basically going to be drawing on this line here. That's why we go to such length to line up the center line in a way that this will show. And so that's a good thing. That's kind of what we want. So I'm going to go to my EP curve tool. I'm going to start at the top here, and I'm going to trace around the center of this wheel. But I'm going to make a change where the drawing calls for the wheel to have an axle slot. Instead, I'm going to make the wheel solid and have it project into my wheel well. Okay, then I'll go there. Boom. And I see I'm a little bit off, so I'll go back to my curved EP. I'll go to my CV tool, change that to W and change that to world. There, that should do it. And now I will hold down the D and the C and middle mouse drag to bring my pivot point down to the end here. That should do it. All right, so next I'm going to go to Surfaces, Revolve, and I'm going to give this 16, and I'm going to rotate it on X and click Apply. Okay, great. And now, actually, the wheel is looking a little short, so I'm going to undo that. Now, I could do this if I really wanted to. I could have done this interactively, but it's just easier to go back in and make our changes and then re-revolve. So I can go to Select, and I'll just choose Revolve again. There we go. That's much better. Next, I'm going to go to Mesh, and I'm going to go to Mirror Geometry. And in Mirror Geometry, I'm going to go to X positive and click Apply. All right, and there's our wheel. Now, we will have to go in and shore it up, which I can do. We'll also note that our normals are reversed, so I'll go to Mesh Display and choose Reverse. Now, I should have shorn this up actually when it was still half, but this is good practice anyway. Easiest way is going to be to go to Vertex here, and then Command convert this to go back to faces and extrude with a very small offset, like so, and then the rest are just simple fencing. And that will sharpen it up. And keep in mind, these are wood turnings, so if they're a little bit loose, that'll be fine. I'll hide my. See what's happening here. Fence here. Fence here and here, and there. So one problem with this is that it can hop around once it hits an edge that it does. That's different. And then one there. Okay, so that's our wheel. Let's select it, and I'll delete history. That's the wheel itself. Now let's go ahead and work with the actual fender, or the actual nacelle, I guess, if you will. So we'll go to X-ray on the side view, because this is where I'm going to wind up drawing. We'll move that over. And I'll go back to my curves and go to my EP curve tool. And this time I'm going to revolve from this back point, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I've got enough to provide surfaces to extrude that strut. I'm going to go all the way around, and there's no line delineating that end point there, so I'll just stop right there. I'll press D and C and middle mouse drag to bring my pivot point into line there, and then I'll revolve, surfaces revolve. I'll revolve in Z this time because Z is facing, this is the axis I want to use. Use 16 and click Apply. There we go. Now, if I go to my, first off, I'll note that it's my my fender, my hubcap, I guess if you want to call it, or cap, or whatever you want to call it, is on this center line here, because that's where I drew my curve. So I'll go to center pivot, and I'll move this over the wheel. F to zoom in and line this up with that center line of the wheel. I'll go ahead and scale this down, scale this so that it looks about right. And I'm going to go to faces, and I'll pull this around, and I'll see that I get some crossover here. And what that means is when I revolved, this was lined up properly. The curve, the pivot point was lined up on the curve, but the end point of this curve was not, of this part of the curve was not. And I've got these overhangs. So what I'll do is I'll grab my vertices, and I'll grab all these vertices, and in the polygon menu, I'll use the merge vertex tool to merge them. Okay, that makes things much, much easier. Next, I'll delete half my faces, like so. Oops, missed one. Oop, too much. There we go. And delete those. Now, this center point is really kind of ugly. Make sure I got everything. Oh, yep, got it. It's not quite on that center line, but that's all right. I want, actually what I think I'll do, yeah, I think I'll just grab all of these. Take this edge. I'm going to go ahead and delete the edge by pressing Control Delete. You got to make sure you press Control Delete and not Delete, because if you press just Delete, it's going to leave your vertices behind, and you don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these 6 points, these 6 edges. I'll try that one more time. 1, 2, 3. I'll just grab these and then deselect the center line edges and this edge along the side there, and I'll press Control Delete. Now the reason I'm going to do this is I want to use my cut tool to cut a new cap. All right, return, and this will round off that cap nicely, and it will make much rounder and make it a much better form. And that's what we're after. So then I'll grab these vertices here and these vertices here, and we'll just move them out. And now when I press 3, you'll see that it rounds off nicely, very nicely, much more of a teardrop shape. That's what we're looking for. All right, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these vertices down at the bottom, and I'm going to scale them flat so that they're flatter. And then I'm going to move them up. It's about right there. Okay, now if you look at the front, you can see that the inside here, it looks pretty good. I can take this and maybe move this down a little bit, and we should be good to go. All right, so what I want to do next is I want to cut an edge going around. That does not want to go on that edge. Oh, yes, it does. Okay. And I'm going to cut the edge there. And I'm going to come right down the side here, like so, and give myself good edge there. And now I'll go to my perspective view to finish this off, like so. All right. Hit return, and we'll build those in. Pull that there, like so. All right, so now what I've done is I've created these polygons, and which I'm going to then go in, and I'm going to extrude. And I'll go to my side view so I can see what I'm doing. Yep, that's just about perfect. Go there. Just pull it straight up until it begins to curve inward. And then I think one more will work, because this is going to be the inside. We're not going to really see it all that much. But it is really important to always remember that that you've got these center points, or you've got these faces going down the center of the extrusion. And that's going to be a problem. So let's delete those. And now to round this out, what we can do is we can grab these vertices that we've just extruded, pull them up a little bit. Actually, I'll go to the right view. And then grab these center center pieces and move them up too, just so they conform to that round inside edge here. Now we'll fence this off and sharpen it up, but if we want to, we can also pull this down like so. All right, so in this lesson, what we've done is we did the wheel, and then we did this teardrop shaped fender on the back of the wheel. In the next lesson, what we'll do is we'll do the strut. We'll fence off the bottom here, and we'll do the strut and match it up with the wing.